The key to having a functional kitchen is having a balanced kitchen. Let's talk about the balance in kitchen design. Balance in kitchen design. These need to be balanced for your needs. They do not need to be equally proportioned. You can see storage, surface, function, area, and lighting. These are the things that we're going to talk about that need to be balanced. However, they don't all need to be equally balanced. Some may be more important to you than others, as long as there is a completeness to the balance of your kitchen, and we'll talk about that as we go. We'll start with storage. Now, the amount of storage that you need will be based off of your answers from the checklist. You already have an idea of the things that you'll be taking to your new kitchen, and so you need to make sure that you have enough storage, places to put those things in your new space. And if you want a generic idea, check out the Kitchen Planning Guideline number 27 in the NKBA standards. It gives you the amount of square footage that you need for a particular size kitchen to have ample storage. However, there are some questions you should be answering, such as, do you shop in bulk? Do you bake? How many small appliances do you have? How spicy are you? I'm not very spicy. Amy is quite a bit more spicy than I am. All I need is salt and pepper, but she needs a whole cabinet for all the spices. So that's an important one. What is your cutlery situation like? How many sets of things do you have? Is this a kosher kitchen? Do you have a lot of gadgets that you need a place for? Do you own an abundance of Tupperware? Are you planning on having more kids or someone moving back in with you? Or are people going to be leaving your home? The more people you have, generally the more storage you're going to need, because more people means more things. Surface is next, and surface means your countertop space and the thing that you'll want to keep clear. So make sure that you get this stage right. While every space is different, getting as much surface as possible is a good goal to set. This can be for prepping food, for landing area, for eating, and even display. Function. The workflow of your kitchen has for a long time been referred to as the kitchen triangle. And while still an important concept, there is another level and other workflows we should be thinking about. Today's kitchens have many workflows to consider. Appliance placement within the layout will dramatically affect how your kitchen functions. So make this a priority. Some of these smaller workflows can be the relationship between a fridge and a microwave. Generally, when you take stuff out of your fridge, it will go into a microwave, and so the workflow between those two appliances should be considered. Or the workflow between your sink and your garbage and your dishwasher, or maybe the workflow between your range and your island and your sink. There's all these mini workstations and all these micro workflows that have to be considered, and only you know how you use your kitchen and what things are important and are not important, but prioritize them in your kitchen design so that you can get the best function out of your space. Area. Whatever the size of your kitchen, keeping appropriate clearances is vital to kitchen workability. While this is not set in stone, there are only rare occasions that steer me away from clearance guidelines. I've had clients who will say they want less clearance, and that will be a conversation that I'd have to have with them and determine if that's the right choice or not. Ultimately, it comes down to what the client wants, and what you're going to put in your own home is what you're going to put in your own home, and I can only give you the guidelines. No matter the size of your kitchen, having proper clearances will make the workflow and the function of that space much, much better. And I refer people to the NKBA guidelines because they have it all spilled out. They've done the research to figure out what are the best guidelines for most people, and they came up with a few guidelines that you should consider for clearances. 42 inches from surface to surface for a one-person kitchen, 48 inches from surface to surface for a two-person kitchen, and there's other accessibility requirements if you need a wheelchair, and on and on. So check out guideline number 6 in the NKBA handbook, and it'll tell you all the different guidelines that you should be considering. Lighting is very important in a kitchen. If you can't see what you're doing, there's going to be an issue. It's not going to be functional. Allow as many sources of lighting as possible, with preference to lights that are dimmable. It's also recommended that if you have a window, it should be 8% of the total area of your kitchen. This is something that is completely out of your control. If you are not putting in a new window, you have to deal with the window you have. It is what it is, but it's something that you should check out and measure to see if your kitchen window is 8% of the total square footage. The reason you should know this is so that you can accommodate for low light situations by adding as much light as possible into your kitchen space. And of course, always refer to local building code when it comes to anything dealing with electrical. The balance of these things is very important, specifically for how you are going to use the kitchen. So no designer or anyone can tell you the best proportion of all of these things. You need to assess them for your needs so that you can come up with the best layout possible for your space.